Imagine an early morning in a quiet coastal town where Henry, a 72-year-old retired firefighter, wakes up to the warmth of the sun beaming through his window. But unlike most mornings in the past few years, today is different. His legs feel strong, steady, and ready to carry him through the day without pain, trembling, or fear of falling. For years, Henry struggled with weakness, muscle cramps, and the silent anxiety of losing his independence. Simple tasks like walking to the mailbox or climbing stairs became a challenge, but everything changed when he discovered the power of proper nutrition. This isn't just Henry's story, it's the story of millions of older adults who dream of regaining control over their mobility and confidence. If you've ever felt like your legs were betraying you, or you're just tired of worrying about balance and strength, then you're not alone. Today, we're revealing the 7 most powerful vitamins and minerals that can rebuild your strength, restore your stability, and reignite your independence. This isn't about magic pills, it's about real science and natural solutions that can transform your life. So whether you enjoy dancing, walking, or simply living life on your own terms, this video is for you. For Sophia, a 68-year-old grandmother living in the Appalachian foothills, life used to revolve around daily walks with her dog, Rocky, and weekend hikes with her grandchildren. But gradually, her once lively steps turned hesitant. Her legs felt like they were made of lead. Rising from the couch became an effort. Climbing stairs, a struggle. It wasn't just fatigue, it was fear. Fear of falling, fear of losing the independence she'd cherished all her life. Her doctor's words echoed in her head. It's just part of aging. But something inside Sophia refused to accept that. She began researching tirelessly, driven by the belief that weakness wasn't inevitable, it was preventable. That's when she stumbled upon a groundbreaking study that completely changed her perspective. Published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, it showed that older adults with sufficient vitamin D levels had stronger muscles, better coordination, and significantly fewer falls. The reason? Vitamin D doesn't just help bones, it activates fast-twitch muscle fibers responsible for balance and reflexes, something essential as we age. Sophia realized she'd rarely been in the sun lately. Her diet, once rich with fresh produce and fish, had dwindled. She wasn't taking any supplements. In other words, she was a textbook case of vitamin D deficiency. That realization hit her like a lightning bolt. She immediately began making changes. A short morning walk without sunscreen. Salmon and egg yolks became regular staples on her plate. Her doctor recommended a daily 1,000 IU vitamin D supplement, especially during the winter. Within weeks, the change was noticeable. Less stiffness in her knees, fewer nighttime leg cramps, and most importantly, a renewed sense of control over her body. But that was just the beginning. Sophia learned that vitamin D was only one piece of the puzzle. Her journey led her to explore other nutrients: calcium for bone resilience, magnesium for muscle recovery, and B12 for nerve strength. It was like each vitamin unlocked a door her body had been trying to open for years. What started as desperation turned into empowerment. She no longer feared stairs. She welcomed them. Her balance improved. Her energy returned. And those walks with Rocky, they got longer and livelier. For Sophia, the turning point wasn't just about getting stronger legs, it was about getting her life back. Just as Lucas, a 70-year-old retired mechanic from Oregon, was starting to feel hopeful again, something unexpected happened that nearly derailed his progress. After months of taking vitamin D and adjusting his diet, Lucas had begun to enjoy things he hadn't in years. Morning walks by the river, light yard work, even chasing his grandkids around the backyard. His legs felt stronger. His balance was better. But then one morning, without warning, he woke up with a stabbing pain in his calf. His muscle felt like it was twisting from the inside out. He cried out, grabbing onto the bedpost for support. The cramps came in waves, sharp, relentless, paralyzing. At first, he thought it was just dehydration. He drank more water, stretched more frequently, but the cramps got worse, especially at night. His sleep suffered, and the fatigue during the day returned. One evening, while getting out of his recliner, his leg gave out completely. He collapsed to the floor. No broken bones, thankfully, but his confidence was shattered. Frustrated and confused, Lucas returned to his doctor, convinced something else was wrong. That's when he learned the truth. He was severely deficient in magnesium and potassium, two minerals that often go unnoticed but are absolutely essential for muscle function and hydration balance. The doctor explained that while vitamin D and calcium were helping build his foundation, magnesium controlled muscle contractions and nerve impulses, and potassium regulated fluid balance within muscle cells. Without them, even the strongest legs can cramp, spasm, or fail unexpectedly. Lucas was shocked. He had no idea that the diuretics he'd been prescribed for his blood pressure were draining his body of magnesium and potassium every day. And his diet? While healthy, it lacked magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, and legumes. That night, Lucas sat at the kitchen table with his wife, Amelia, and created a new plan. They added magnesium, citrate, and potassium-rich meals, bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach, to his daily routine. He also began drinking electrolyte water after his walks. Within 2 weeks, the nighttime cramps had all but disappeared. His energy started coming back. And most importantly, he no longer feared collapsing. That terrifying fall was a wake-up call, not a setback. What Lucas realized was this: strength isn't just about building, it's about balance. And in that balance, every nutrient plays its part. For Amelia, a 74-year-old former school teacher living in Vermont, the hardest part wasn't the physical pain. It was the emotional weight that came with it. She had always been active, known for her graceful stride and love for community ballroom dancing. But over time, her legs began to betray her. First came the stiffness, then the burning sensation in her calves after short walks. She started declining invitations, too embarrassed to explain that she couldn't keep up. The woman who once led line dances at the senior center now avoided stairs and clung to railings. At first, she blamed it on aging. Everyone said it was normal: the slowing down, the aches, the feeling of heaviness in the legs. She accepted it as her new reality. But deep inside, Amelia felt like she was slowly fading away. Not just physically, but socially, emotionally, and mentally. Then one evening, while watching a documentary about nutrition and aging, something clicked. A neurologist on screen explained how vitamin B12 deficiency could cause numbness, poor coordination, leg weakness, and even cognitive decline in older adults. Amelia's eyes widened. She'd been experiencing all of those symptoms, but no one had ever mentioned B12. The next day, she scheduled a visit to her doctor and requested a full blood panel. Sure enough, her B12 levels were critically low. Her doctor explained that with age, the body struggles to absorb B12, especially for those taking acid reducers or eating less meat. She was prescribed a high-dose supplement, and within weeks, the fog began to lift. The tingling in her legs lessened. Her gait steadied. She could think more clearly, and she began walking without constantly looking down at her feet. But more than the physical changes, what truly transformed was Amelia's mindset. She realized that what she had accepted as normal aging was, in fact, a nutrient deficiency, something fixable. That insight lit a fire within her. No longer would she quietly suffer. She researched every essential vitamin and mineral linked to mobility, balance, and nerve health. She changed her diet, added leafy greens and lean proteins, and even started taking short morning walks again. Each step filled with purpose. Amelia wasn't just healing her legs, she was reclaiming her identity. And in that moment of clarity, she understood something powerful. Growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. Sometimes it simply means learning to nourish yourself differently and choosing not to give up. After months of battling fatigue, stiffness, and the quiet fear of losing her mobility, Charlotte, a 66-year-old widow from Arizona, finally saw a glimmer of hope. And it came not from a new medication, but from a deeper understanding of how her body truly worked. Charlotte had always prided herself on being self-reliant. Even after her husband passed, she took care of her garden, volunteered at the local library, and kept up with her grandchildren. But as her legs began to ache more frequently and her balance grew unpredictable, her world shrank. She started declining social outings. Her garden became overgrown. She no longer trusted her body to keep her safe. Then during a local wellness seminar, a guest speaker, an energetic, silver-haired nutritionist, introduced the crowd to the powerful role of vitamin K in preserving bone strength and joint flexibility. Until then, Charlotte had only heard about calcium and vitamin D, but this was different. Vitamin K, the nutritionist explained, was the traffic director for calcium, guiding it into the bones and keeping it out of soft tissues like arteries and joints. Suddenly, things began to make sense. Charlotte remembered her mother's struggle with brittle bones and stiff knees. Could this missing piece have made the difference? Determined, Charlotte made some changes. She added kale, collard greens, and Brussels sprouts to her diet. She discovered fermented foods rich in vitamin K2, like aged cheese and natto, and began experimenting with new recipes. Within weeks, something shifted. The stiffness in her knees started to fade. Getting up from her chair no longer required that dreaded pause and grimace. Her movements felt smoother, more fluid, like she had rolled back the clock. This renewed strength gave her the courage to try new things. She joined a senior Tai Chi class at the community center. At first, she worried about looking foolish, but quickly realized that everyone there was fighting the same battle, to reclaim their freedom through mindful movement and better health. For Charlotte, this wasn't just a return to better mobility, it was a new beginning, a second chance to enjoy life without fear. Her world began to open up again. She hosted family dinners, started gardening, even booked a trip to visit her sister across the country, something she hadn't done in years. Because when you nourish your body with what it truly needs, you don't just move better, you live better. And that's a gift worth fighting for. Benjamin, a 69-year-old former truck driver from Missouri, had spent decades powering through life. Mile after mile, no complaints, just grit. But when his legs began to fail him, everything changed. For the first time, he couldn't power through. A simple walk to the grocery store left him winded. His legs trembled when standing too long. The man who once carried heavy cargo across states now needed help getting out of his recliner. At first, it broke him. He avoided mirrors, skipped family barbecues. He told his daughter, Grace, that he just needed more rest. But the truth was, he felt like a burden. Then one afternoon, after another night of painful leg cramps and restless sleep, Grace sat him down and gently said, "Dad, I think it's time we fight back." Together, they dove into research. They learned how magnesium played a vital role in muscle recovery and nerve relaxation, how potassium supported muscle coordination and hydration, how vitamin B6 helped with oxygen transport and muscle protein repair. Benjamin realized that what he was going through wasn't weakness, it was a lack of fuel. That insight sparked something inside him. He began to treat his meals like medicine. Every breakfast started with leafy greens and eggs. He drank more water, swapped out processed snacks for bananas and beans, and took supplements with his doctor's guidance. He started walking again, just around the block at first, but each step grew stronger. He stretched in the mornings, began sleeping better, and for the first time in years, he woke up without fear of falling. But the real change wasn't just in his legs, it was in his eyes. Benjamin began smiling more. He laughed louder. He signed up for a local men's group at the senior center, where he now leads morning stretch sessions for guys who, like him, thought their best days were behind them. His story, once filled with frustration, had become a blueprint of resilience. When his grandson asked him to come to the park and play catch, Benjamin didn't hesitate. He showed up, mitt in hand, legs steady, heart full. The look on his grandson's face, that mix of surprise and joy, was everything. Benjamin had reclaimed more than his strength. He had reclaimed his pride, his presence, and his purpose. And now, with every strong step forward, he's proof that it's never too late to rise again. Evelyn, a 71-year-old artist from Northern California, used to say that strength was something you could see in toned legs, firm posture, and long walks on the beach. But now, after everything she'd been through, she knows true strength is something deeper. It's the decision to not give up when your body starts to falter. It's the quiet fight in the kitchen when you choose spinach over snacks. It's showing up day after day for your own future. Just a year ago, Evelyn was nearly convinced she'd have to give up her independence. Her legs ached, her knees locked, and the thought of walking across her garden, once her sanctuary, filled her with dread. Doctors offered pills, friends offered canes. But Evelyn wanted more than just to cope. She wanted to thrive. Through dedication and the power of knowledge, she rebuilt herself one nutrient at a time. Vitamin D helped restore her stability. Calcium and K fortified her bones. Magnesium and potassium loosened the grip of muscle cramps. B12 and B6 reconnected her nerves and energy. Her kitchen became her pharmacy, and each meal a quiet act of self-respect. Today, Evelyn walks that garden path again, barefoot, smiling, humming as she goes. She hosts painting classes on weekends, welcoming students of all ages to find peace in color and movement. Her legs are no longer a source of fear. They are pillars of freedom. But perhaps the most powerful thing Evelyn regained was her confidence. She knows now that aging doesn't mean surrendering. It means adjusting, learning, and choosing to treat your body like the miracle it truly is. Every stretch, every supplement, every thoughtful bite, those choices matter. And this journey isn't hers alone. It belongs to anyone who feels the weight of weak legs, shaky steps, or stolen independence. Because the truth is, there's always a way forward, especially when you nourish your body with the right tools. So whether you're walking with ease or struggling to rise, remember, your body wants to heal. It was designed to move. And with the right support, you can reclaim your strength at any age. Don't let stiffness, cramps, or fear define your story. Let determination, knowledge, and action be the chapters you write next. You are stronger than you think, and this is just the beginning. Growing older doesn't mean losing who you are. It doesn't mean surrendering your freedom or watching your world shrink. It means adapting, evolving, and learning how to care for your body in new and intentional ways. The real secret to strong legs isn't just found in exercise. It's rooted in what you feed your body every single day. Nutrients like vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, potassium, B12, B6, and vitamin K are more than just names on a label. They are the foundation of strength, stability, and confidence. Your body is speaking to you through cramps, weakness, and stiffness. The question is, will you listen? The lesson here is simple but powerful. You are not powerless. You are not broken. With knowledge and the right nutrients, your future can still be active, vibrant, and independent. Because no matter your age, you still have the power to stand tall. Start with small, consistent steps. Schedule a blood test with your doctor to check for deficiencies, especially vitamin D and B12. Build meals that include leafy greens, fish, dairy, beans, bananas, and fortified grains. Try a morning walk for sun exposure and movement. If needed, talk to your physician about supplements, especially for magnesium, potassium, or B12 if you take medications that deplete these nutrients. Keep a water bottle nearby to stay hydrated and practice gentle stretching each morning to reduce stiffness. Finally, keep learning. Your health journey doesn't stop here. There are simple tools, meals, and routines that can transform your legs and your life. Your comeback starts in your kitchen, your mindset, and your next choice. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and share with your friends. Your support keeps these stories alive. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if today's story touched your heart, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Take care, stay well, and see you in the next story.